This free step-by-step video comes to you directly from Haynes, creators of the world's best repair manuals. Fix your car or truck the right way with our accurate and reliable information at your side. You can complete more than 200 jobs on this vehicle when you purchase the complete online manual at Haynes.com.
Do not remove the radiator cap, drain the coolant, or replace the thermostat until the engine has cooled completely. Disconnect the negative battery cable from the remote ground terminal. Then isolate the cable by securing the insulated part onto the stud, then screw on the nut. With the engine cold, remove the radiator cap. Move a large container under the radiator drain fitting to catch the coolant mixture as it's drained. Attach a suitable hose at the bottom of the drain fitting to direct the coolant into the pan. Open the drain fitting at the bottom of the radiator. Allow the coolant to completely drain out. Remove the air filter assembly and intake hose. Disconnect the PCV hose. Loosen the hose clamp and disconnect the electrical connector from the air filter housing cover. Unlock the front locking tabs and lift up the housing cover. Pull the cover outward to disengage the rear tabs. Remove the air filter element. Pry out the plastic retainer securing the front of the air inlet, then remove the fastener securing the housing. Pull up and remove the housing, noting the grommets in the studs that secure the bottom of the housing. Loosen and remove the hose clamp at the bottom of the intake tube connecting to the throttle body. Then remove the duct at the top of the intake tube to allow for removal. For replacing the primary thermostat, detach the hose from the thermostat housing inlet. If easier access is needed, remove the hose above the primary thermostat housing as shown. Remove the thermostat housing fasteners and cover. Be prepared for some coolant to spill out as the seal is broken. Before removing the thermostat, take note of how it is originally installed. Remove the primary thermostat. Remove the old gasket or O-ring and install a new one as applicable. Install the new thermostat in the same proper orientation as it was in prior to removal. Install the primary thermostat housing cover and fasteners. Tighten the fasteners to 79 inch-pounds on 2010 and earlier 2.4 liter models, and 159 inch-pounds on 2011 and later 2.4 liter models. Reattach the hose and clamp to the primary thermostat housing cover and attach any other hoses removed. For replacing the secondary thermostat, disconnect the electrical connector at the top of the housing. Remove the hoses at the front of the housing. Also remove the coolant hoses from the rear of the coolant adapter and thermostat housing. Loosen and remove the mounting bolts from the coolant adapter. Carefully remove the coolant adapter and secondary thermostat assembly from the water pump inlet tube. Take note of how the thermostat and its gasket or O-ring was installed prior to removal. Remove the secondary thermostat. Check the condition of any gaskets or O-rings on the thermostat housing and replace them if necessary. Remove and replace the O-ring from the water pump inlet tube. Avoid gouging the metal or leaks may result. Make sure all mating surfaces are clean before reinstallation. Install a new gasket or O-ring onto the new thermostat as applicable. Install the new secondary thermostat into the coolant adapter housing in the same orientation as it was in before removal. Install the coolant adapter housing and its mounting fasteners. Tighten the fasteners to 159 inch-pounds. Reattach the necessary hoses and clamps at the back and front of the coolant adapter and thermostat housing. Also connect the electrical connector at the top of the housing. Install the intake tube and tighten the lower hose clamp securely. Connect the upper duct to the intake tube and secure it with the hose clamp. Install the air filter housing back into place, aligning and securing the grommets at the bottom of the housing into their studs. Install the housing fastener and tighten it securely. Install the plastic retainer. Install the new air filter element, seating it properly. Install the filter housing cover by sliding the rear tabs in first, then securing the front locking tabs. Reconnect the intake tube, PCV hose, and the electrical connector to the filter cover. Tighten the hose clamp securely. Refill the cooling system. Make sure the radiator drain plug is installed. Then add the proper mixture of coolant into the filler neck until it reaches the radiator cap seat. Install the radiator cap. Add the same coolant mixture to the reservoir until the level is between the full hot and add marks. Connect the negative battery cable on the remote ground terminal. Run the engine until normal operating temperature is reached, then allow the engine to cool. With the engine cold, add coolant as necessary to bring it up to the correct level. Keep a close watch on the coolant level and the various cooling system hoses during the first few miles of driving and check for any coolant leaks. Make sure the hose clamps are tight and add more coolant mixture as necessary. Replace the engine cover.